David out of this junction. We're delighted he's made it onto the YouTube channel. He's not filming this one. So you see, if I stop for a second, there's nothing behind me, we can just about hopefully make out that sound. I'm coming straight onto this roundabout as I come out. So I'm going to go straight ahead again. So I'm following signs for Thornton this time. So I'm planning immediately. I'm checking my mirrors, and again, if you look at your road markings, you'll see the left-hand lane is just for turning left. So I'm going straight ahead, so I'm going to go in nice and slowly into my second gear as I'm approaching. I'm looking now. I've got the shortcut to contend with there when I'm looking for my gap as well. I appreciate you can't see that. I'm looking for the cars coming off the roundabout, but I'm also looking for the cars coming up the middle of the roundabout to create a gap for me. There is a car coming up the middle now, but he's coming round, this black Kia. Fiat 500's getting out, and then we've got a little gap there, so I'm good to go. Again, important that I stay in the lane I'm in. I'm still signalling left to leave, just as you would on any normal roundabout. Scanning the zebra crossing as I leave the roundabout. Being careful to cancel my left signal as I come off before I get to this entrance, so as not to mislead people into thinking I'm going into the car park. That's the fun about it. Now this time, I'm going to go follow signs for Lancaster, Preston and the M55. So I'm taking the third exit. So this time I'm going all the way around that roundabout. So it's still going to be the right lane, but this time I need to put a right signal on as well because I'm going round the roundabout. I'm going well past 2 o'clock. The bus has made it a little bit tricky to spot the sign. I'm going to have to give way. Yeah, I'll come round that bus now. So as I'm approaching the roundabout, station in Victoria Hospital on the second side, I'm checking my mirrors and put my right signal out. That's important because if I didn't have a signal, people would assume I was going straight because this would be the lane they would use for that as well. These cars have all stopped for absolutely no reason. But it just shows that, again, even though we're going to get you hopefully learning how this roundabout works and being confident with it, it's a roundabout that people do get wrong from time to time, so always good to be aware that other people will do silly things. As we're coming round here, stay in your lane. As soon as you go past the exit you're not taking, change your signal to a left, check your mirrors, and we're coming across in that gap in the white lines there. Bringing it down, cancel that signal, and again being aware of the zebra crossing as we leave the roundabout. Slightly different this time as I approach the roundabout. I'm going to go all the way around the roundabout. So last time we did this we went following the signs for Lancaster and Preston. This time we're going all the way around following for the town centre. So again, if we look on the sign we can see the town centre there shows it's very much the last exit. It's very much past 2 o'clock. So it's mirrors, signalling right, positioning to get well into this right hand lane, watching the zebra crossing as I'm going in. Nice and slow as I'm looking for my gap. Again, I've got to be really aware of what's coming through that shortcut. Quite busy coming from the right today, there's quite a lot of cars there, so the shortcut might actually help you. If you see a car coming up the middle, if they're going straight on like this now, that makes a gap for me, those cars have to give way. Flicking that right signal on when it cancels itself and keeping myself tight to the roundabout this time. We don't want to come through the gap like we did last time, we're staying in this right lane, that signal will cancel itself there. As I'm coming off, signal left, and I can see this man approaching the zebra crossing. So I'm going to give way to him. As he gets to the island, I'm good to go. Again, scanning that zebra crossing nice and early as I'm approaching it. Don't want to be getting caught out by the last second by that zebra crossing. You see people who scan it right at the last second. Oh my god, there's a person there. And you have to stamp on that brake pedal, and that can really be dangerous to the cars behind you. They're not expecting to see that. This time as I'm approaching the roundabout, I'm just going to take the very first exit. So again, the left-hand lane on the roundabout is just for taking the first exit. So I'm following signs for Fleetwood and Cleveland. As I approach, I'm checking my mirrors nice and early. Put my left signal on, keeping my position well to the left, watching the zebra crossing. Slowing it right down while I look for that gap. There's a gap after this silver car, so I'm just coming up and approach. Keeping my position well to the left, watching the zebra crossing. Signal cancels itself and building my speed back to that speed limit. From Devonshire Road, and I'm going to follow signs for Fleetwood and Cleveland. And that's the second exit, and again if you look at the sign you'll see that. Remember the left hand lane is just for taking the first exit, so I'm going to be using the right hand lane to go straight ahead. Again, the sign's quite confusing, it doesn't show it as straight ahead, but if you look look at the roundabout for me, you can see it is the straight ahead option. Really short mirrors, don't need to signal because I'm going straight, and I'm in this right lane again. If you look at your road markings, that's quite clear. Scanning the zebra crossing and being really careful because again, the road to the right is quite blind. It says Fleetwood on the road, so I'm going to stay in this lane. Really important that I focus firmly on my lane discipline. Scanning the giveaway, and there is a car coming around from there, so I'm going to have to stop. So again, nice and slow. Going to gap after he's gone. So keep him firmly in my lane, following the road round, signalling left to leave. And there are people in the zebra crossing, so he's going to be slowing it down. Gradually driving away. Approaching the roundabout again this time. I'm going to take the very first exit this time, so it's going to be a left turn, and that's following signs for Queen's Promenade. If you can just about make out the sign as we go past it now, you'll see Queen's Promenade, the first exit. So again, I'm only using the left lane for the first exit. It's the only thing this left lane's for. So I've checked on mirrors. I'm not going to signal just yet because of this road. The position's fine as I'm slowing it down. I'm going to pop that signal on now, checking the zebra crossing. Giving way to the right. Now this entrance in particular, again, we need to slow down a bit more for, because the road to your right is quite blind as you're approaching. Very easy to get caught out there. And if you look at the road markings as I set off, you'll see it makes it quite clear. I'm heading down towards the prom, so I'm staying firmly in the road marked prom. And then there's another giveaway here for anything that might be coming off the roundabout through the shortcut. So I'm just checking that as I come round. It is nice and clear. And as ever, there is that zebra crossing as we come off. So quite a lot to take into account from that entrance. Even when you're just turning left, we have got the extra giveaway, and again your lane discipline, really important on Bispham roundabout. Got to stick to those lanes. This time at the roundabout, I'm going to take the third exit, which is following signs for Thornton. It's important to note that Thornton and Bispham Village are the same exit. If you can remember that, that makes it easy. So the signs are signposted Thornton, but the road markings are marked Bispham Village. It is only one roundabout, so I'm signalling right from the start. So it's mirrors, signals on now. Don't put that signal on at the halfway stage, it's all the same roundabout. Slowing it down, I'm into second gear. Being careful not to stop on the zebra crossing, and being careful because the road to your right is quite blind here. Now taking that Bispham Village lane. Keeping it firmly in this lane, popping that signal back on if it cancels itself. Scanning the giveaway. Coming round as I go past the exit, I'm not taking. Change that signal to a left. Give left door mirror a quick check as I'm coming over, and then scan that zebra crossing. Again, important to note there, you see the car park does back up a little bit sometimes. So something to keep your eye on as you're coming off the roundabout, and as ever it's important to cancel that signal before you get to that car park, so as not to mislead people into thinking you're going into that car park. Now this time I'm going to go all the way around the roundabout, so I'm coming in from Devonshire Road past the golf course, and I'm going to follow signs for Lancaster and Preston and the M55 now. It's really quite unlikely they have to do this because it is all the way around the roundabout, and you'd probably have turned left on one of these streets, but there's no reason why you can't. It's not illegal or anything like that, so it is the last exit on the roundabout. So I'm going to check my mirrors. I'm going to signal right. Now remember, from the other angles we've got the shortcut through the middle. We can't use that shortcut here. You can never go through the middle of the roundabout from this angle. That would be dangerous. So we are going to have to go all the way around the roundabout. I'm giving way to my right as I approach, remembering it's quite a blind one, being careful not to stop on the zebra crossing. And then I'm going to follow the road markings for Bispham Village because I am going right round the roundabout, so it's very much a right turn I'm doing. Popping that signal back on when it cancels itself. As I'm going around and keeping that right signal on, putting that right signal stays on so people know what I'm doing. As I'm coming round, again I've got the gap in the lines here, change my signal to a left. Bring my position up and making very careful to check that left door mirror. That brings me off here. Like I say, it's quite an unusual one that you wouldn't necessarily go all the way around very regularly, but there's no reason why you can't do it like that as well.